So we have one performer before our special presentation by Jeffrey, Deskovic. Yeah, got it right. He's the person who introduced me to Jeffrey. He also has a story in the anthology of how he met Jeffrey, and he is also a veteran, and today is Veterans Day. It's 11/11, and so he's a vet, and he's an amazing person and an amazing writer, and I'm very happy and privileged to welcome him to the stage. So everyone, please welcome Chris Pascale.
Thank you. As Kelly said, my name is Chris Pascale. I am also an author. I'm the author of a book called War Poems, The Marines Tour 2003 to 2008, which covers my time in the Marine Corps, where in 2005 I served in a Special Forces unit called Marine Recon in Fallujah. I just got the green light from my publisher for another book to come out, and it's a collection of true stories, mostly from my life, but one of the stories is about Jeff. And part of that story is how I met him. I used to be the CFO of a charity called Portfolios with Purpose. And every December, we had a party, mostly for rich hedge fund types and TV people. And if you don't know, there's a saying in business that if you don't know who's the schmuck in the room, it's you. Well, I never had that problem. I always knew that I was the schmuck in the room. So I would go around this party glad-handing with various groups of people, like the kids from St. Luke's Academy in Armani. And I would find Carlton English, who was a CNBC reporter, and I would laugh at something she said. And then I'd go over to Leon Cooperman, and I'd pay proper homage to him. And eventually, I was all out of asses to kiss. So I went to the bar, and I grabbed a Coke, and I fell in with some group of Yale graduates or something. When some woman comes over to us and says, "Can I tell you about something my organization just did?" And we're like, sure you can. And she tells us that she's an attorney who had just freed a man named William Lopez, who had spent 23 and a half years in prison for a murder he didn't commit. And while she's telling us, she says that she's part of this organization called the Jeffrey Deskovic Foundation for Justice, which is like the Innocence Project, but not the Innocence Project. And then comes over this man who I can best describe as a dark-haired man whose tailor could have done a better job. And his name is Jeffrey Deskovic. And eventually, Jeff and I separate off to the side, and everyone else does what they're doing. At parties like this, people are generally trying to make contacts. They're ascending up professional rungs. You know, attractive men with money are wooing attractive women who have the kinds of connections that would get them on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange for this party. And while Jeff and I are talking, a caterer, the member from the catering staff, comes over with a tray of mini tacos, which I relieve him of, and I put on the Barclays trading desk to my left, and I eat the whole thing in front of Jeff. And the member of the catering staff doesn't get to see things like this very often, so he comes back immediately with some mini crab puffs, which I take from him, and then Jeff helps me get rid of this one. And then he comes over with baby sloppy joes, which he insisted be called duck tartare, but I've seen a sloppy joe in my time. I know one when I see one, and so we do the same. After about 30 minutes, Jeff and I have 8 or 9 of these cheap tin discs sitting on the Barclays trading desk, and I'm starting to feel the feeling you feel when cheap microwave food is churning into a slurry of chime before it turns into poo. And I'm not feeling good. I got like one hand on like this desk that transacts about $2 billion a day, and I got another on my hip. And I'm telling Jeff, I'm like, Jeff, I've made mistakes. And he says, are you going to be okay? And I say, we should have waited for more baby sloppy joes. And then I fart, he laughs. And we've been friends ever since. And I can't wait to hear him tell his story tonight. Thank you so much.